As far as I know, this should be my last chapel in the BMW program. So that's super exciting. I've almost been here for 3 full years in September, which is just kind of crazy because when I came, I really thought I'd miss home so much, and I left and they got rid of my room and they got rid of my bed and all my things. So I didn't really have much to miss. But I thought this being my last time sharing as technically a BMW, part of my internship, I think during our time here sometimes we can focus a lot on the hard things we've been through, but we sometimes forget all the really fun things and things we learned. So I made a list, 2 top 5s, top 5 things I learned and my top 5 memories, but I have more than 5 memories because I thought of more when I was done. So I'll share with you some of my favorite memories from BMW. So probably my top favorite, because I married Tanner, when he came in January, I'd come the term before, and we really hated each other. I wouldn't say hate. He thought I was stuck up, and I didn't like him. But one day, he took my devotion spot, and I was like, why would you do that? That's just kind of rude. And I really hate yogurt, and I'd been on KP that morning, and I got rid of all the yogurt because that's just what we did. You go around, you try to get rid of the food. And he came up to me and he's like, I was wondering if you wanted this yogurt. And I was like, no, I don't. He's like, are you sure? You want the yogurt? And I was like, I don't want the yogurt. He tried 5 times. I'm like, I really don't want the yogurt. And he started walking away, and he's like, do you want to hang out sometime? Okay, yeah, sure. And so it was the worst first date ever. We went to the beach with Tim and Jeremiah for the sunrise, and no one talked. We just stood there. And then I had to go back because I was on KP. It's a good memory, but then it was this is not gonna work. Whew. Another favorite was running the mud run. Well, we did more of a walk, but we do it for Vespers as a class. And I remember we were just having a really great time at the end, and everyone, we were having a mud fight. And Abby's, and we all felt so guilty that we were having fun because Abby was in pain, but it ended up okay, and we really enjoyed that time. For people like Emily Brumlow who hates murky water, and we were if we walk with you, will you do it? And so she did it all, and Keisha hated it, but we're if we do it with you, will you do it? And she's like, yeah. So we all got to do that together, so that was fun. Another thing. We don't do it so much anymore. I don't know if you guys do, but pool parties. We'd have a pool party, a party, we just kind of float around. There was never anything fun. Well, it was fun, but we'd do them 4 times a week. We'd go after study time on Thursdays, because then we wouldn't have, Thursdays, because then we wouldn't have to read for Voris. So then there was free time that night, because reading for Mr. Voris always took up the entire night, so you couldn't do it. Another one, we went to the Calvary Chapel Missions Conference 2 years ago, and we were with Shirley, and we were in this technology one, and there were these people who had never seen a phone, and they were asking all these terrible questions. And Shirley, you guys know when Shirley laughs, it's just funny, and she just broke down, and we're in the front row, and it was uncontrollable. It was really good. Probably. This would probably be my second favorite, actually, but going on the summer teams, Indiana, with the Adams and Shirley and Dan went to, that was a great summer. Our team was hilarious. It was hard, and yeah, Shauna knows, she was there. They were fun people. That was a really great time. And then Kazakhstan this summer, Shauna was there too. Yeah, so, being with the Myers, are they not there, either of them? Okay. Anthony and Shauna, they're just, every day Miss Shauna would come in, because we were in different apartments, so they'd walk over. She'd sit down next to me. I need a nap. And I was like, Miss Shauna, we just woke up. It's okay. And we have this awesome picture. They had these really weird melons. We're what is this melon called? We call them all melons. Okay, but it was bigger than her probably her whole body. No, but like she wanted a picture with it because it was so big, and that was so fun. Another one was for Vespers one time. You know the big blow-up balls we use at the picnic? So we did those for Vespers, and Mr. Terry got in one. And I just remember all of us being like, oh, he's going to break himself. And like, he got like hit by someone, and he fell over. And we're like, Mr. Terry, are you okay? And he like lost his glasses, but he was okay. And that was really fun. It was really fun for Tanner and I to be kind of involved with Abby and Jeremiah while they were apart. I don't know if they want us to talk about it, but like, yeah, they're engaged, yay. And I like to think we had a part in that because like I would pretend to be Tanner on Messenger a lot and message Jeremiah and be like, so when are you gonna say something? And like trying to convince them to do something about it. But and it worked. It did work. So proud of that one. The Christmas musical. A lot of students were in it, and for the staff who maybe didn't like it so much to watch, well, we had a really fun time performing for you. All the afternoons we spent, those songs just really stick with you. I remember we were tabbing for some of it while we were learning it, and so like Miss Barb would come in and we'd practice the musical, and then she'd read us a book. It was just really nice. That was a fun time. Tabbing was another thing I had listed. I got to do it next to Abby one year, and then this year I was with Jeremiah at a table. That was really fun. My last one was probably the first memory I had here, but was being around Emily Walker. She's just a funny person, and she was like my first friend when I came to BMW. I mean, I was a class of 5. I lost 3 of them. And I was really good friends with Lydia Knox, if you guys remember her. She's now Lydia Lewis, and she left in like 2 weeks. So it was a little bit discouraging, but, and everyone thought Allie and I were gonna be best friends. It didn't work out that way, but Emily was a really good friend, and I had a really fun time with her this summer being back. But yeah, those are some of my favorite memories from BMW. It's a really good time. And then my top 5 things that I learned at BMW. So the first one was how to let go of the past. When I came to BMW, I was super bitter. So when I was in 8th grade, before I went to high school, I had told my parents, like, I am not gonna date in high school. I am gonna like focus and like get in a good college and all this stuff. And by October, I had a boyfriend. And it was just super awful. It was a really bad situation. And so I had carried a lot of that bitterness through with me. Like I came and like, I really didn't like men. Like I didn't appreciate male authority. I didn't like them as my friends. Like I just had this really angry lot of stuff. And so when I got here, I think that was one of the first things I had to address because it was causing so much more than just bitterness in my life. Like the sin was just like tumbling. And so Matthew 5:44 says, "But I say, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you. In that way you will be acting as true children of your Father in heaven, for he gives his sunlight to both evil and the good, and he sends rain on the just and the unjust alike." And so for me personally, so he's sending, okay, so this person I guess wasn't necessarily my enemy, but like to learn how to pray for someone who would hurt me and realize that like my life was suffering not because like they necessarily done something, but because I was allowing what they had done to like affect me so badly. And just learning that to love your enemies, like you don't have to be best friends with the people who hurt you. Like, I don't think that's what that's saying, but to understand that like that person was going through things far deeper than I could have ever imagined. And I am able to forgive that and to allow that forgiveness to first off free me, but I mean to also, like, I guess in my mind, to free that person. Like because like I was able to say to that person when they reached out, like, you know what, like, I'm not here to be your friend necessarily, like, I'm not in that place for you, but I do forgive you for the things that you've done. And that was really helpful throughout BMW, because I think it's really easy to get bitter when you're kind of thrown into a ministry where like all you knew was the summer program, and then you see all the dents and bruises, and like that's not something you see when you're a team member. But then we forget that like before we saw the dents and the bruises, we thought teen missions like was a really great place, and that really great place, while you were in that like learning those great things, still had dents and bruises. It's like it's still doing great things for those people. And so letting go of things that happen here. The second thing I learned was how to be present. And I think a lot of that has to do with changing the focus from an I attitude. Because like we can sit here and think, I deserve a better paycheck. I deserve a better department. I deserve a better room. I deserve a better house. I deserve better. And I've shared it before, but the only right we have with Jesus is to give up all of our rights, because when he's called us somewhere, he doesn't call us to comfort. He doesn't call us to like crazy, super smart places all the time. Like everyone here doesn't, I mean, I don't have a degree. I have a Bible school, the diploma thing. But like, you know, he calls us to the place where we need to be, because our personal skills can be used to benefit the people we're around and the people that we're ministering to. We have to remember that we're serving the King and not ourselves. And I think it's easy when we read, like when we have the missionary days and people are like, you know, this person, like that one guy who, I don't know who shared, but he like lost 3 of his wives, and like, so the wife died and he got remarried, and they're like, he's going through all these hard things, and we think about David Livingstone out in like Africa getting sick all the time and all these things, and we're like, wow, what a great missionary. And then we come here and we're like, my AC wasn't working last night, so we better get that fixed, because I don't think I can stay here without AC. And like we totally like lose. It's great to see them on paper, but then our lives are so different sometimes. And so I think remembering that reminds us to be present where we are and to see this as a ministry and not as a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 job all the time, which I think it can become. Number 3, growing up looks different, and that's okay. So when you come to BMW, there's like this like level of maturity that you like pretty much have to have, or you're like, I don't want to say, like, you're pretty much like done, you know? Like you just kind of get like, it sounds so bad, but like you get like shunned kind of, I guess. I don't know. Like when you're super immature, like things just happen. You're not able to like do the things you're supposed to do, and you end up leaving. And like sometimes like that's really good. Like we have mature BMW students, and like I feel like we've matured okay, Tanner and I. But then sometimes I look at my friends and I'm like, I wish that I could be doing those things, because then I wouldn't have to worry about like this room full of people who's going to keep me accountable for my actions. Like I want to be able to like, sometimes I joke with Tanner, I'm like, man, I wish I could date through my 20s and just find guys with like, who would give me their credit cards, and I could just hang out and not worry about it. And like, it'd be okay. But like, that's not mature. And and there are better things in life. But you know, sometimes you like, when I'm young, I'm like only 20 years old, and so my friends are out doing crazy things, and I'm like, I feel like I missed out on that. But like, maturity is different, and it's okay to be farther than that at a younger age, because I'm like, think of the things we'll do like in 5 years that like they'll never be able to do, which is super cool. Number 4, it's okay to say sorry and holding my tongue. So I don't think like holding my tongue was necessarily the issue. It was like all the words that came up with my brain that I wanted to say, because when I got here, I just like, I could tell you, like, I know what's up. But that's definitely something I've learned. And like, sometimes it's really hard. And like, I'll say something to someone during work, and I'll go back to my desk and I'll sit there for like 10 minutes. Like, I have to say sorry, but I don't want to say, how do I say sorry? And like, feel okay to apologize. Personalities, when I do something to you, and I don't think it's wrong, personal, and I think so personal. But like there are times I realize I don't always apologize to you in the past, but like the Lord has really taught me more about that since I've come to BMW, especially with my family. Like my sisters and I, we have a hard time getting along when I go home. Going home is really hard, which is why I like being here a lot. And just realizing that even though like they can be mean sometimes, it's okay to be nice back. And speaking life also, with holding my tongue and everything, like I talked about that a lot this summer on my team. Like there's no use to always bring the people, don't make it a word. Number 5, it's easy to know a lot about God and to be far away from him. James 4:8, draw near to me and I will draw near to you. It's easy in BMW, like we talk about it a lot, like the Bible can be our textbook, and like it ends up being that way a lot, I'm sure, for people in seminary and other places too. And it's easy to be able to list all 12 tribes of Israel and be able to put it on a piece of paper every single wandering and like to know all the things. But it's also super easy here to lose the relation. I mean, sometimes I do have a hard time not when you leave, you're done that. It means working weekends, and sometimes that means late nights and early mornings. But that's a part of it. Those things can be really hard when your relationship with the Lord is struggling. I found a relationship with things that like I'm not like straight with the Lord, 5 things good to make myself kind of feel better about it while I'm here. As a student, you know, you learn all these things, but drawing near to him looks like more than knowing about